Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Sounds like a superpower. No pun intended. Want to find out how? Hi, how have you been? In this video, we'll be looking into a piece on Evelyn Glennie written by Deborah Cowley. Let's begin. Rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. Note that the author has not directly named the person she is talking about in the first paragraph. We get a vivid description of a girl waiting for a train on an underground platform, sort of like a metro train. If you would have traveled by any type of train, what is the first clue that comes to your mind that tells you that the train is approaching the platform? The sound of it, right? But here, the girl is alerted about the approaching train by the feeling of vibration which she feels from the floor through her feet. Keep this thing in mind because you'll be getting to know in greater detail later about how the girl uses this ability in her life. Then we get to know that she is a musician, and finally the most important detail, that she is profoundly deaf. Then how does she make music? Confused? Let's read on. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she didn't move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from teachers and friends. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated and her headmistress had urged her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. So now we come to know that the author is talking about Evelyn Glennie, or Dame Evelyn Elizabeth Ann Glennie, if you are interested in the full name. Dame is an honorific title given to women. It is the female equivalent of knighthood. So men become sirs like say Sir Michael Caine, and women become dames like Dame Evelyn Glennie. Imagine the battle she has been fighting with deafness since the age of 12. In the beginning, she tried to hide it from others. People generally tend to behave a bit oddly with the differently abled. But then the teachers caught on with her when her performance in her studies gradually went down, and the doctors discovered that the deafness was due to gradual nerve damage. What do you think Evelyn means when she says everything looked black? What significance do colors have in life? They represent emotions and feelings, right? How would you feel if all the beautiful things around you, the flowers, the sky, your pet, were black? Horrible to imagine, right? That is the emotion she is trying to convey. She feels this world the same way without sound, without hearing. That's too big a challenge for such a young child. Reading on. But Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. One day she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes. "Don't listen through your ears," he would say. "Try to sense it some other way," says Evelyn. "Suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down." Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. "I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work." She could have easily given up at that very young age, but she did not. What if she had not tried to push towards her interest in music, was not encouraged by Ron Forbes like other teachers? She could possibly never have felt the vibrations from the drums in her body. If she had not taken those initial steps, she may never have unlocked that ability. We could never have been able to witness the greatness of her music. Remember the Chinese proverb, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Reading on. She never looked back from that point onwards. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you'll get there. And she got right to the top. The world's most sought after multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. "Men with bushy beards give me trouble," she laughed. "It is not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes." She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. "My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. So, from not being able to hear to getting to the point where she gets the highest marks in the Royal Academy, where only the best of the best are allowed, that is what hard work and determination gets you. An important quality in great people is that they are humble. She does not feel that she is a hero, even after being so popular and in demand that she has to continuously tour around the world. Did you notice another thing? She did not stop learning. She mastered 2 more languages despite not being able to hear what they sound like. Imagine trying to learn a new word without knowing how it sounds. Seems really tough. She did that with 2 whole languages. She says that she has trouble understanding men with bushy beards. Think about why that is so, and tell me in the comments. Reading on. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even my hair. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. By leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing through her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels, far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. Remember how the young girl was sensing the oncoming train through the vibrations in her feet? That's exactly how she plays instruments like the xylophone and the drums, by feeling their vibrations through her bare feet. That's how she listens to sound and creates music without hearing any of it. No matter how big the obstacle in your path, you can overcome it by becoming bigger than the obstacle itself. I would suggest you to listen to her TED Talk she published on YouTube, titled How to Truly Listen. Wait before you search. I'm about to finish. Then you can go. Reading on. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. I've just got to work, often harder than classical musicians. But the rewards are enormous. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Anne Ricklin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says, she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and has demonstrated that it can be very moving. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. She overcomes her own impairment, makes it to the top, changes the way people perceive orchestra, performs for people whom others usually forget, patients and prisoners, inspires and helps deaf children. I mean, hero seems too small a word. Here's a bonus fun fact for you. Evelyn performed at the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games in London 2012, leading 1,000 drummers in the opening piece of music, and then playing the allophone during the ceremony for lighting of the Olympic cauldron. How's that for awesome? That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video and learned something, please subscribe, like and hit the bell. That's Researcher signing off.